We have a problem. I don't think Rings of Power is a good TV show, but that's a boring, repetitive thing to say. But here I am, criticizing Rings of Power, but for a very good reason. I love The Lord of the Rings. Ideally, Amazon would have left it intact and made their own show in their own universe, but I understand that's not how Hollywood works. I'm so cool and understanding, I say, Amazon, you spent $250 million for the rights to my favorite thing. Me being upset is pointless. That's why I don't have a problem with Orc Baby. I don't have a problem with Elrond making out with his future mother-in-law. I'm so chill. I don't even have a problem with the greatest elven smith of the Second Age having less brains than the rocks he hammers. My problem is this.
We're going in circles. Just admit it, we're lost.
You might ask, why? That's nothing, but that's where you're wrong. In case you're unaware, this line is a callback. It's just a fun, cute little callback to the scene in The Two Towers when Frodo and Sam are lost in the Emyn Wheel.
We're going in circles. Let's face it, Mr. Frodo, we're lost.
The show is littered with these. Remember the moment in The Return of the King when Gandalf and Pippin are facing certain death and Gandalf describes the afterlife as
white shores and beyond, a far green country into a swift sunrise.
And then in The Rings of Power, we get this guy saying,
until we meet again in the far green country under a swift sunrise.
On the surface, this might seem like a moment where the show recognizes one of its own weaknesses. They're injecting actual lines of Tolkien instead of their weird Shakespearean impression of Tolkien.
What pride is woven in your inmost self that you resist my hand?
Since Tolkien spent his life mastering languages,
the first began seriously to invent languages. When I was 13 or 14, I've never stopped, really.
It's no mystery why it's hard to imitate the guy.
Languages have a flavor to me. New language to me is just like taking a new wine or a new sweet beet or something.
And why Amazon's imitation often sounds like Greg from Succession.
You can speak to us normally.
So I shall.
But in reality, inserting these lines of Tolkien are the worst thing they could do. And they know it, and we know it, and they know we know it. It's not the moments where Rings of Power goes against Tolkien that make the show feel icky. It's the unholy marriage of anti-Tolkien and little winks to the audience Amazon put there to make us feel like, you're right at home, baby. But we're not at home. We're inside of an orc's family's home because apparently those exist now. It also has wider, worse implications than that. It means that every meaningful line of dialogue from The Lord of the Rings is a reference to some random person from thousands of years ago. It means that Gandalf isn't speaking to Pippin from the heart here. He's pulling a well-known blurb from Valinor's website. As the old saying goes, a far green country under a swift sunrise. But this isn't even the real problem, because they aren't all just empty references. At least when they go,
we're going in circles.
It's an accurate description of the situation they're in. What's worse is when they take iconic lines from Tolkien and misappropriate them to their opposite contexts. The most important moment in Lord of the Rings occurs after Frodo callously wishes that Bilbo had killed Gollum when he had the chance. Gandalf admonishes him about the importance of pity.
Pity? It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand.
Tolkien cared so much about this theme of mercy that it's responsible for the One Ring being destroyed, stating in one of his letters, quote, at any point, any prudent person would have told Frodo that Gollum would certainly betray him. To pity him, to forbear to kill him was a piece of folly, or a mystical belief in the ultimate value in itself of pity and generosity, even if disastrous. But it is the pity of Bilbo and later Frodo that ultimately allows the quest to be achieved. Gandalf summarizes this idea with a quote you might recognize.
Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo?
Back in the Rings of Power, Gandalf is upset because his friends are lost and he wants to go save them. His guru, Tom Bombadil, literally sneers at him as he explains,
somehow I know, unless I find her soon, she will die. Both of them will die.
Jolly Tom then replies,
many that die deserve life, some that live deserve death. Who are you to give it to them?
The Rings of Power took the iconic mission statement of The Lord of the Rings,
do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment,
and twisted the words to mean, hey doll, Mary doll, let your friends die, hey! Hi, it's me. I'm recording this video before the finale drops. I think there's a decent chance that Tom Bombadil being a dick is like, it's gonna end up with him being like, oh, well, I tried to reverse psychology, but you picked the right path.
It was all a test, wasn't it?
Saving your friends was the Istari thing to do all along. You proved yourself there, bucko.
I was meant to choose friendship over power. I was meant to help them.
Which, fuck you. I just fucking don't. I'm just saying that now. Ugh.